again, Karras read his transcription over, haunted by its tune, by the feeling that more than one person was speaking, until finally repetition itself dulled the words into commonness. And he set down the transcription and rubbed at his face, at his eyes, at his thoughts. Not another language. And writing backward with facility was hardly paranormal, even unusual. But speaking backward, adjusting and altering the phonetics so that playing them backward would make them intelligible. Wasn't such a performance beyond the reach of even a hyper-stimulated intellect? The accelerated unconscious referred to by Jung? No, something at the rim of memory. Then he remembered. He went to his shelves for a book, Jung's Psychology and Pathology of So-Called Occult Phenomena. Something similar here, he was thinking, as he rapidly searched through the pages of the book. What was it? He found it. An account of an experiment with automatic writing, in which the unconscious of the subject seemed able to answer his questions with anagrams. Anagrams. He propped the book open on the desk, leaned over and read an account of a portion of the experiment. Third day. What is man? Tefi Hassel Esble Lias. Is that an anagram? Yes. How many words does it contain? 5. What is the first word? Si. What is the second word? E. Si. Shall I interpret it myself? Try to. The subject found the solution. The life is less able. He was astonished at this intellectual pronouncement, which seemed to him to prove the existence of an intelligence independent of his own. He therefore went on to ask, who are you? Clelia. Are you a woman? Yes. Have you lived on Earth? No. Will you come to life? Yes. When? In 6 years. Why are you conversing with me? E if Clelia L. The subject interpreted this answer as an anagram for I, Clelia, feel. The 4th day. Am I the one who answers the questions? Yes. Is Clelia there? No. Who is there then? Nobody. Does Clelia exist at all? No. Then who was I talking to yesterday? With nobody. Karras stopped reading and shook his head. There was nothing paranormal here, he thought. Only proof of the limitless abilities of the mind. He reached for a cigarette, sat down and lit it. I have known many. Where did it come from, Karras wondered? This eerie content of Reagan's speech. From the same place Clelia had come from? Emergent personality? Marin. Oh, the blood. He is ill. His eyes wandered. Karras glanced at his copy of Satan and moodily leaped to the opening inscription. Let not the dragon be my leader. Closing his eyes as he exhaled smoke, Karras lifted a fist to his mouth as he coughed, and aware of his throat feeling raw and inflamed, he crushed out the cigarette in an ashtray. Exhausted, he slowly and awkwardly got up, flicked out the room light, shuttered his window blinds, kicked off his shoes, and collapsed face down on his narrow cot. Fevered fragments spun and tumbled through his mind. Reagan, Kinderman, Dennings. What to do